In terms of overlooked and underrated here in the United States, it doesn't get much more apparent than this system right here, the Sega Master System, selling only 2 million units in the US as compared to over 30 million for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Master System is something that just most people here in the States don't know a whole lot about, myself included. I didn't actually get my first Master System until a couple of years ago. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs, and I only own this because of my friend John from Biddy Kong's Quest. Recently, I've been going back and looking at video game consoles and looking at games that I feel are overlooked and underrated, and there's no more perfect an example of an overrated... Damn it. And there's no more perfect example of an Damn it. And there's no more perfect example of an overlooked and underrated console with amazing games than the Master System. Today, I'm looking at a bunch of overlooked and underrated games on the Master System. No real set number, just kind of what I'm feeling. And we're going to talk about them right now, kicking things off with what is my personal favorite game on the console. The first game I think of when I think of the Sega Master System is The Lucky Dime Caper, starring Donald Duck. It is my absolute favorite game on the console. It is one of my favorite video games of all time. It stars my favorite Disney character. He is decidedly Donald throughout the entire thing. Like, he hits people with hammers, he throws discs at them. He's Donald. He's an angry little guy. That's what he is. He's an angry little guy. And the gameplay is spectacular. I mean, it is a very straightforward and simple and easy to understand platformer where you're going point A to point B to defeat the boss at the end. There's some challenging levels, there's some great level design, there's some wonderful music. The graphics in the game are spectacular. Like, I put this up against really any NES game as far as visuals go, because I think it is one of the best looking video games of the 8-bit generation. And I just enjoy it. I love it. It is legitimately my favorite Master System game. And it's not one that a lot of people in the States know about because it was a European release. We did eventually see it released on the Game Gear, which I will be talking about Game Gear games, I think, probably next month for underappreciated and overlooked games. But this is one that I just think more people need to know about, more people need to play. Whether you are playing it on a cartridge or you decide to emulate it, this is something that I think everyone needs to experience at least once in their life. When I think of Outrun, I don't necessarily think of the Sega Master System, and I think that's probably the case for most people. A lot of us are going to immediately go to the arcade experience or to the experience on the Sega Genesis, and that's a shame because there is a perfectly serviceable and honestly fantastic version of Outrun living on the Master System that I don't think gets the flowers it deserves. As much as I love it, and I've talked about it on the channel in the past, and I think it is one of the better versions of Outrun ever made, I still gravitate towards the arcade release or the Genesis release. And that's a shame because I really do think this is one that more people should appreciate and should experience in their lives. It's classic Outrun. It is an easy to understand experience. It's very arcadey. You are racing against the clock to complete checkpoints. You're able to choose your path as you go, and it's awesome. Like, it's legit one of the best racing games of all time. It's something that is still something I will put quarters into when I go to an arcade, and playing it on the Master System is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of the Asterix and Obelix comics, and I love the Asterix and Obelix games. And the game that simply is titled Asterix on the Master System is incredibly fun. It is a very simple to understand and very easy to grasp side-scrolling platformer where you play as both Asterix and Obelix, and as you go through the levels, you are going to switch kind of in between each of them as you go. You are going to complete a level as Asterix, which will then load up a different level as Obelix. Each one has different powers, each one has different abilities. Asterix is the hothead. He can collect his magic potion to be able to get super strong and run fast and hurt people. And then Obelix is the gentle giant who is super strong. I love the video games featuring Asterix. Like, even to modern days, I think they're fun. I appreciate them just because I love the original comics. And I think they're really true to the original kind of experience of those comics, reading them when I was younger. Love playing these games. Super excited that I own this one on the Master System. It's an absolutely fantastic game. And not one I ever hear people talk about. And usually when I do, there's people who go, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That game was great. Definitely worth playing. I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. The version of Hook on the Master System is the best version of this game on home consoles. It plays faster. It looks just as good as some of the 16-bit ones. Like, obviously it's not as crisp and not as detailed, but like, it's not dog shit ugly. It looks good. It plays incredibly well. The faster pace of this one makes it feel more natural and more entertaining and easier to understand as you're playing through it. I just love it. It's a wonderful game based on a fantastic movie that captured my imagination when I was a kid. This is one I wish I had played when I was younger. I would have adored this game, but It's just one, like, obviously, like, I never had a Master System, like I said, until a couple of years ago, so completely passed me by. But this game is amazing, absolutely worth playing, and if you are a fan of that Steven Spielberg movie, you need to check this version out, because I really do enjoy it more than, like, the Genesis and Super Nintendo versions. I think it's a better game. If ever there was a game to make me look at it and say, I really don't think this should be as good as it is, it would be Master of Darkness, because it's very Castlevania, but it is very Castlevania set in Victorian England during what feels like the Jack the Ripper massacres. So it's not something where you're like in Romania hunting Dracula or anything like that. You're hunting someone that's killing people in London. And you don't have a whip. It's single stick. It's kind of like how Sherlock Holmes fights. And you collect different items, like you can get a gun, like a revolver that you can use. And for something that when I initially played it, I went, this is just a Castlevania clone with a weird veneer on it. Boy, man, is this game fun. And it plays really well. Now, there's some finickiness, and this is kind of inherent to a lot of Master System games with controls, where going up and down stairs can be a little bit challenging. Like, you really need to line your sprites up right to be able to go up and down the stairs correctly. But as you figure it out, and as you kind of like get into the rhythm and the cadence of the game and where you're supposed to place your character, the brilliance of this game shines through, and it is an absolutely marvelous experience from top to bottom. One of the best Master System games right here, I'm telling you. Master of Darkness is just brilliant. And if this is a series that had gone on and had kept having games made in its series, I really think this is one that probably could have rivaled Castlevania in the long run. Choplifter was never something that I was really into when I was younger. Like, I had played it a couple of times at a friend's house, either on the NES or maybe I played it in an arcade. Like, I don't remember. I have a memory of playing it, but I couldn't tell you where it was. So I didn't really give it the time of day until VGM sent me a copy of Choplifter in a box for the Master System. And I was absolutely blown away by this kind of classic arcade experience that was so well translated onto the Master System. First off, graphically, it looks incredible for an 8-bit title. The gameplay is simple and easy to understand. You have to go through, you take out the enemies that are attacking you. Pressing one button will kind of turn your chopper either to face forward at the camera, allowing you to drop bombs on things like tanks, or it will turn you left or right. And as you move through, you're going to attack different flying objects or attack things on the ground to take them out. You collect hostages from buildings as you blow them up, and you take them back to base, and you want to collect as many as possible without killing them. It's a really simple and easy to understand game. I can see why this is popular in arcades, because I love it on the Master System. Look, I don't make the rules, but if you toss Mickey Mouse and the words of illusion into a video game, it's going to be solid. It's just that simple. And the blank of illusion games on the Master System are all fantastic, and I'm just in particular talking about Land of Illusion today because I've talked about Castle of Illusion in the past, and Castle of Illusion is great, and don't get me wrong, it's one that I know a lot of people love, myself included, but Land of Illusion isn't one I hear people talk about a lot, and it is a classic Sega-driven Mickey Mouse platformer. You're able to pick up objects and throw them. You have to dodge enemies by jumping over them. There's environmental puzzles to solve where, okay, puzzles is kind of a strong word. You have to kind of environmentally time things to be able to move through different levels. Like, there's a spiderweb section where you have to wait for leaves to fall to jump on them. It's a wonderful game, though. Like, solid top to bottom, plays incredibly well, presents a great challenge, and is really fun. Like, if it's Disney and it's Sega, chances are it's going to be awesome, and this one is no different. Kind of like Outrun here, I don't really think people anticipate R-Type being brilliant on the Master System. Like, they're going to gravitate more towards like Super R-Type or something like that on the SNES because they want that thing that is more accurate to the arcade experience, and that's really a shame because R-Type on the Master System is wonderful. If you haven't played R-Type, hi. It's a shmup. It's a space shmup. It's got a good challenge to it. It's got a wonderful difficulty, beautiful look, fantastic music, logical gameplay, like you understand what's supposed to happen. You move up and down, you shoot, you can charge your shot, kill the bad guys, collect the power-ups. Bob's your uncle, out the door you go. And the Master System version is wonderful. It's just as good as other versions of the game I've played. It's just as challenging. It presents as much enjoyment as any other version of the game I've ever played. So, yeah. Kind of like Outrun, maybe not the first one that comes to mind when I think of R-Type, but when I play it, I realize the brilliance of it. So yeah, look, Spellcaster is wonderful. Like, I want to call out how great the gameplay is, because It feels like kind of a controlled version of Legend of Kage, where you're not jumping by pressing up on the D-pad or anything like that. But I don't know, just for some reason this feels like Kage to me, and I don't know why. But I really need to give some recognition to the absolutely hilarious translations in this game, because it's not like a bad translation. All the English is solid, like every bit of dialogue makes sense. But holy cow, the master at your temple is a dick, and he will call you an idiot to your face. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Like, I was legitimately laughing out loud playing this, talking to him, trying to figure out where I needed to go. I really do think that there's some quirks to the game where you kind of need to figure out, like in the weird little point and click adventure sections, like figure out kind of a certain order of way of things to go to be able to move through the game. But the further you go and the more you understand how to kind of navigate those situations, when you get into the side-scrolling platforming and kind of the run and gun shooter aspect of things, the game just sings. It's an absolutely wonderful title. Really, really fun. Really strange, too. Like, this is a weird-ass game, but man, is it fun. One of my favorite Genesis games makes for a fantastic Master System translation, and that is Gain Ground. If you haven't played Gain Ground is an incredibly addictive game, because it's one where you are going to collect different characters through time, and these different characters have different abilities. Like, when you start out, you have a guy that can, I believe, fire a bow and arrow. You have one that throws a grenade, and you have one that shoots a gun. And if they get hit once, they're dead. They're gone. You don't have the ability to use that character anymore unless you are able to collect their item later on in the game and get it to the exit point. Now, as you play, you're going to be hampered by enemies that are constantly firing, constantly respawning, constantly attacking. There's gauntlets you have to run to be able to get to one side of the map, to be able to free your captives, to be able to have them with you to help you moving forward in the game. There's all kinds of characters you can unlock, like there's ninjas and wizards and cavemen. I just love it. This is like one of my favorite concepts for a game, and I wish this was a series that was like fully realized and still something that was out today, because I absolutely love it. Gain Ground is magnificent. It's great on the Master System. Don't overlook this one. Man, I still haven't fulfilled my goal of beating the first Ninja Gaiden that I set out to do last year. And yeah, that's a shame, because it sucks. I really want to beat it, but I wanted to also call out and give some recognition here to the Master System version of Ninja Gaiden, which plays nothing like the NES version that so many of us are familiar with. This game is very different, and it is incredibly unique in the way it kind of plays and the kind of way it paces itself, because where the NES version is a little bit more kind of direct and forward with how you're supposed to go. And I mean, and really in this one is kind of the same way. Like you're going left to right. That's just how it works. But there's more movement options and more abilities that you're able to utilize in this game that make it feel incredibly different than the original Ninja Gaiden on the NES. You are able to grab onto ledges and swing yourself up. The wall jumping feels a lot more fluid on the Master System. The combat is just as good. The boss fights are enjoyable. The power-ups are great. It's really wonderful interpretation of the Ninja Gaiden franchise, and I'm excited to have been able to play it finally. Like, this is one where people had told me about it, and I didn't have a chance to play it until earlier this year, and it is magnificent. One of my favorite NES games is Commando, and that is a warts and all statement, because the NES version of Commando can be awful. There can be a ton of slowdown. It can be a lot of screen tearing, a lot of flickering, and just not look great. And Rambo on the Master System is a really great Commando clone that plays unbelievably well and is super fun. And like, you don't need to know anything about Rambo. And how do I know that? Because I don't know anything about Rambo. I don't care for the movies, but I do like this game. It's really good. It feels, like I said, it's a little bit like Commando. It's a little bit of a Commando clone, but it's also a little bit of Kari. So if you like either of those games, you're going to love this one. You are going through, you're taking out enemies that are constantly spawning. So it's wave after wave after wave after wave of enemies. So you're putting up a Rambo style body count throughout this game. You have to blow up different buildings to free captors who are going to throw you different special white items that you are able to use to blow up the buildings, to free the captives, to get special items. Like, it's a wash, rinse, recycle, repeat. But it is amazing. Absolutely love this game. Really, really fun. Definitely worth playing. And hey, look, another licensed game that is badass and great. When I think of Golden Axe, I think of a beat 'em up. I don't think of an adventure game. akin to The Legend of Zelda. And when we got Golden Axe Warrior, which is one that the fine folks, my wonderful friends over at Do You Nerd, talked about in one of their videos, and I had never heard of Golden Axe Warrior at the time. And I looked it up and I played it on an emulator and I was like, this game is amazing. Dare I say it, it's a better version of The Legend of Zelda than the original Legend of Zelda. I think it plays better. I think it looks better. Now, the music in Zelda is better, I will say that. Although that could be argued as well. Like, I know some people that really love the music in Golden Axe Warrior, but I personally prefer the original Zelda music. But this game is incredible. It's an overworld crawler where you're going through and fighting different enemies on screen. There's dungeons to go into. Like, it is legitimately a Zelda clone, but it does it better as far as I'm concerned. And really, you can't go wrong with that. Now, this one might be overlooked and underrated because it is so goddamn expensive to buy, but if you don't want to spend that money on a cartridge, do check it out on emulation because it's a wonderful game. Really, really fun. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. What a surprise, right? Another Master System video and another chance for Jay to talk about the Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like the games I featured. Please, I am a neophyte when it comes to the Master System library. There's so many games that I know about, but so many of them are the ones that everyone says are great. But these ones here are ones that I haven't seen talked about a whole lot. Now, if there are places out there talking about it heavily, please let me know. I would love to learn more about the Master System. I would love to learn more about its library. But let me know your favorite overrated and underlooked, damn it. But let me know your favorite underlooked, damn it. But let me know your favorite underrated and overlooked games down in the comments below. Oh my God. I really have to come up with a new title for these videos. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. The engagement helps the channel out a ton. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you stick around. We're getting dangerously close to 18,000 subscribers. I'd love to be at 20K by the end of the year. Hey, if you are going to be in the Cleveland area the 19th through the 21st of September, why not stop by the Cleveland Gaming Classic at the IX Center? I am going to be a guest there and I would love to see you. It's one of my favorite shows of the year. I can't wait to go back. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. Remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.